Hello and welcome to your weekly roundup, Praha TV Weekly News. There are the most important news and stories from Prague and the surrounding areas. I'm Marcela Tomčíková, and as always, we've selected the key highlights that shaped the city and the region around this week. From major decisions at City Hall to updates on transport, culture and community life. Let's take a look at what the past week has brought. Starting with a unique place that filled the news. The Prague Planetarium is reopening after a 2-year renovation and in a big style. Visitors can look forward to a top-notch visual experience thanks to 45 million LEDs, which in first reactions people describe as breathtaking. Apart from that, also new programs and smart technologies hidden behind a monumental dome.
The Prague Planetarium has reopened after 2 years of renovations with new LED technology, better cooling and more space for visitors. All of this now offers visitors a truly cosmic experience.
It's unique because we don't project images onto a screen anymore. The screen is actually solid. The panels are equipped with LED diodes that display the images for us. To simplify, it's essentially a gigantic television.
This is the biggest LED screen in Europe. Larger ones exist only in Las Vegas. The viewers are illuminated by 45 million diodes, making the image incredibly sharp, as if you are in space.
The viewer will see a higher resolution, a sharper image, and most importantly, black will appear as true black. This is because no light is emitted from projectors. It's not a dark gray. It's real black since the diodes turn off completely.
The first place visitors will see the LED screen will be here in the foyer area, which has also undergone transformation.
Currently, we are in the foyer of the Prague Planetarium, which has undergone renovation and modernization. In the past, several exhibits were located here, but most have now moved to Liberec. And instead, there is a little more space around the walls, and those walls have actually been replaced by technology.
Now the foyer walls serve as light sources and information systems with plans for interactive experiences ahead.
As you look around, you'll notice panels everywhere that not only display interesting images, but also function as orientation systems.
Will there be interactive things here?
Eventually, there will also be interactive features.
Beneath the subtle technological design of the dome is an ingenious cooling system that uses the heat from the screen's operation. The design also took into account the architectural protection of the historically valuable structure.
90% of our work was figuring it out this way, so that nothing would interfere with that amazing screen. But at the same time, the screen had to function. When the screen heats up, we have to cool it down a lot, and then we need to get rid of that heat, such as having geothermal wells 1.2 kilometers deep for that, so that we can dissipate that heat and take it back in winter.
The technology, cables, and air conditioning are concealed between two constructions, the original concrete shell and the new dome. This results in an undisturbed viewing experience.
The LED dome is filled with numerous small vents indicating that allow sound to pass behind the LED dome, and most importantly, the cooling air. The whole purpose of our work was to establish a layer between these two, the old and the new construction, solving all acoustics and wiring to ensure it remains unseen in the auditorium.
The planetarium intends to showcase not just astronomical programs, but also theater concerts and educational shows. Thanks to modernization, the hall's capacity increased from the original approximately 230 seats to nearly 280 seats.
And And now to the very popular sport in the Czech Republic, football. Modern building that replaced the old one from 1970s with lots of other facilities for club. All 64 million crowns from district-owned savings. That is Kunratice's story, in particular local football club SK Slovan. They could enjoy, for example, 8 changing rooms or a gym.
The local football club in Kunratice, Prague has celebrated the grand opening of its new facility, a modern building that replaces an older structure from the 1970s. The old structure was in poor condition. The new building cost about 4.6 million crowns and will serve both athletes and the public.
The new building is larger. The new building is in a new spot. The old one was next door, so they built the new one first, and then tore down the old one to avoid disrupting football.
The city council aimed to complete the construction by the centenary of local football, but it was ultimately finished a year later. The new building is prepared for commercial use, including activities like exercise sessions or for clubs.
The players will have access to the gym and locker rooms every afternoon from approximately 3 to 8 in the afternoon. In the morning hours, our preschool visits this facility. We welcome other clubs to use the facility as well. We know that some yoga groups are interested in coming here.
The city council did not get a grant for the new facility for football players. They saved about 4.6 million crowns from their budget.
How long? A year and a half. We were planning before. The research is focused on identifying the most essential needs of football players.
The old setup was insufficient mainly for capacity and hygiene. The new building has enough changing rooms, showers and toilets, plus a gym.
One toilet was here. There was one women's restroom. There was nothing else. Now there are 8 cabins. Now there are 8 toilets and public restrooms, so it is completely adequate.
The building also meets current ecological standards. It is insulated and heated by a heat pump, and that's not all.
The building is designed with photovoltaic panels as it has a lot of glazing. Today, it is heated with a heat pump and works well due to its insulation and ventilation system.
Now, the facilities are for football club kids and other locals. The city leadership hopes the new area will become a natural hub for community life in Kunratice, Prague.
The leaders of the Central Bohemian region traveled to Nové Strašecí to find out what local schools, businesses or, for example, firefighters need. Governor Petra Pecková met with students, employees and city representatives to find ways the region can support their development.
The leadership of the Central Bohemian region set out to the town of Nové Strašecí to find out what needs and projects local schools, businesses and firefighters are addressing. Governor Petra Pecková made a visit to a vocational school where students are being educated to become auto mechanics and agricultural machinery repairers.
It is an organization established by the Central Bohemian region, which even has several students who ranked among the top in national competitions. We have the Welder of the Year, and it is a school that produces the highest number of auto mechanics and agricultural machinery repairers in the Central Bohemian region.
One of the stops included a Czech refractory factory that manufactures heat-resistant materials for building furnaces and stoves. The governor learned about the unique technology and the history of its production.
Which is heat resistant and can handle significant temperature changes. It withstands heat up to 1700 degrees, and I see it as a rarity in the Central Bohemian region and maybe in all of the Czech Republic, as there are few like it.
The mayor of Nové Strašecí sees the visit of the regional leadership as an opportunity to showcase the way the city works together with regional partners and all the successes the city is achieving.
I am pleased that Mrs. Hintmanka came to our cities and was able to confirm that everything in our city operates as it ought to. She toured the vocational school and visited the largest business of the region's biggest employer.
The governor stated that these visits should assist the region in comprehending the needs of towns, local companies and institutions more effectively. They are supposed to provide space for personal meetings and discussions with representatives of the region.
It's crucial to leave that office, particularly the one in Prague, and visit the region to understand what is produced in central Bohemia, what companies are there, how they operate, what conditions they face, and what they need from the region, where they require our cooperation.
The delegation program ended with a public forum, where locals could share their suggestions and wishes for the development of the city and the entire region.
New hope for increasingly successful University Hockey League, thanks to the signing of memorandum for the construction of a university hockey stadium. The Czech University Hockey League is no longer just a fun league, but it's starting to be taken quite seriously. University students manage to train 4 times a week during their demanding studies and play several dozen matches a year. The level of the University Hockey League is comparable to the 3rd highest hockey league in our country, and thus has a touch of semi-professional competition. The only thing that the student players lack is an adequate playing surface, which they have to share with professional clubs and city stadiums. However, this could change soon.
The Czech University Hockey League is growing. It currently has 12 teams and players must handle 3 to 4 training sessions weekly while studying. This league's level is comparable to the 3rd highest hockey league in our country, but players still lack an appropriate playing field. That could change following the signing of a memorandum regarding the construction of a university hockey arena.
At this moment, we are discussing with universities where we are offering various plots of land suitable for creating a hockey arena for university sports. We are aware that university hockey is growing significantly along with other university sports, and as Prague, we aim to cooperate with them to ensure sufficient facilities are available to play.
I think this is indeed a very important issue, as not many people are aware, but we certainly are. We have university sports and young athletes, but we do not have the places to do it.
In England or the United States, the integration of study and sport is a fundamental aspect of university life, whether it involves rowing or university hockey. In America, they are at a much higher level than we are in the Czech Republic, yet even here, there is talk of a daring goal: to compete with the United States by building a suitable stadium that meets the necessary conditions.
I definitely think this will succeed, but we need to realize that America is ahead in this regard, because they have been trying for a much longer time and have significantly more money than we do, but I believe we can still succeed, which ultimately shows that when our teams, it's certain that our students competed with American players, so it can be said they were evenly matched.
We essentially built the entire university league from the ground up, starting with the players who participated in it, who organized the teams, and we are trying to approach this construction in the same way. This means we have identified specific needs and engaged all relevant institutions in the process, which will certainly have a significant impact on it.
The process is just starting now. The crucial part is for the city to locate a suitable area for construction. Preparatory work could take a maximum of 1.5 years, and then the hockey stadium for university players could eventually start to be built.
4-year-old Dutch Shepherd Cherokee has managed to establish himself among the European and overseas elite. The service dog, which routinely searches for drugs during house searches, participated in the International Sporting Kinology Championship, and the combination of demanding training and everyday work has proven to be an exceptional combination.
At first glance, a tough service dog. At second, a top athlete, the 4-year-old Dutch Shepherd Cherokee from the Prague Canine Unit has achieved an extraordinary success. He represented the Czech Republic at the International Championship in Canine Sports, and he brought home first place from the Netherlands.
It was in IGP-2, which is a canine sport where it consists of 3 disciplines: tracking, obedience, and protection.
The success is the result of years of targeted training, which begins from puppyhood. The handler selects a suitable dog based on its work drive and temperament.
Training starts from a young puppy, 8 weeks old, and begins immediately, primarily for service. So, getting used to the environment, noise, etc. He's a 4-year-old dog, so we've been together for almost 4 years. He was born on the 4th of April. Regarding scent work, the dog must search in every environment, in every situation. Nothing should deter him from searching. So I will probably choose a puppy that is very active and has something that can capture its interest. The requirement is always that the puppy is very so-called food-driven, which is fundamental and has a developed prey drive for retrieving.
Cherokee captivates not only with its training and work, but also with its steely smile.
It happened. I had it planned. A long time ago, knowing that they are merely protections for the canines, so the dog doesn't wear them down or break them. Our main work involves primarily house searches and inspections of vehicles or various vehicles, and searching for narcotic and psychotropic substances.
The World Championship in IGP is one of the pinnacles of sports cynology, and reaching the elite requires hundreds of hours of training. However, for Roman Shonsky and his dog, it doesn't mean the end. Challenges await them every day.
That's all for this week's news from Prague. Thank you for watching us, and don't forget to stay curious, stay informed, and take good care of yourselves. See you next time in Praha TV Weekly News.